Hey everyone, how you doing? How you doing out there in internet land? Are you new to the things that are coming out of your arms? What are you doing? What are you? Stop it! You put that thing down. Put it. They have multiplied. All right, for those of you who don't know, or those of you who are listening on iTunes or SoundCloud or Google Play, my co-host Andrew Howell is just he just went crazy with his
just finger gunning away.
Hit with his finger guns, which that is his alter ego, Mr. Finn Gergens. My name is Freddie Hernandez, and you may know me as Tavarish if you're on the internet and looking for me. This is the Wrench It Everyday podcast where we talk about cars, car culture, and all that other stuff.
Strong start.
Strong start, as always. Actually, we usually record these things in one sitting. We do like 5 podcasts right after Andrew gets off of work, which is just a testament to the work ethic of Andrew here. Because all I do is nothing all day. That's it's not unemployment, it's fun employment. So but Andrew, he works a 9-to-5 job at Njuku, and then right afterwards he comes right here, and then we do 5 podcasts in a row, so we can talk about all this stuff. But yesterday, the program that we used, OBS, that is open broadcaster software, that we used to record this, just crashed, and we just killed the podcast. And by the time we got it up, we were pretty beat.
The loss of steam was very rapid.
Yeah, it was.
we were
going. Oh, we're off the cliff.
Yeah, we were both pretty tired.
Yeah. So we're pretty beat. So
we're fresh. We're good. We're hydrated. We got food in our bellies.
If any of you would recommend a podcasting software, if any of you do a video podcast and have a software that can put pictures up on the fly, that's actually a big problem with this OBS, because apparently my computer can't do it. I don't know. Every time I don't know. Let's see if we can.
Don't.
No.
Just.
Oh, there we go. Well, that's horrible. Yes. So that happens. A black screen. I've tried all the fixes. I've Googled it, and there is apparently no help.
There is no hope.
We are on our own, and there is no Luke Skywalker to save us.
That's right. We are in Hadley's Hope, and the Sulaco has not yet arrived.
I have no idea what those words were.
Aliens, Tavarish. Aliens.
Aliens.
The movie Aliens. The base where they were, the mining facility was Hadley's Hope.
So Aliens is the first or second one?
It's the second one.
The second one.
Yeah.
So the first one was Alien. And
Alien.
The second one
that was aboard the
Aliens.
Nostromo. Well, it was aboard the Nostromo for most of the movie. They also went down to LV-426.
Listen, I've never seen those movies.
Really?
I've never seen them.
That is probably one of my favorite franchises of all time is Alien.
Cool. So do they have any cars in them?
Yeah, actually they do. The second one has this really sick armored vehicle.
Oh, okay. So maybe we can start with that.
Which they actually built.
They actually okay.
Yeah.
As opposed to what? Like they bought?
Well, no.
Built, not bought, bro.
Instead of, they did use miniatures, but they also had a life-size version of this thing.
Okay, so they made a model. All right, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I've never really watched those things. But if any of you have any podcasting solutions for us, we are but a fledgling podcast. I can't afford $700 that the software cost.
And I don't even think that would meet all of our needs.
Yeah, it's like a Wirecast or whatever. That's like literally $700. That's a lot of money.
Says the guy that paid $1,000 for a couple of HP LightScribe CDs.
Listen, man. Okay, if supply and demand. Okay, I really, really needed them. To be honest with you, I haven't used them yet. I have not used them yet, but it's such a waste of money. Okay, so I want to get something going here because we are looking to do a DIY channel.
Yes, we are.
Okay, and it's going to be called Wrench Every Day.
Mm-hmm.
So on this DIY channel, I don't think it should be necessarily a secret for our viewers. I think people should anticipate it. I think people should know. So we're trying to get a really cheap car.
We're talking like really cheap.
No, sub $500 car.
Yeah. Barely into 3 digits.
Yeah, but we also want it to be
Awesome.
awesome. But we want it to be something like, a Pimp My Ride knockoff. Something that was modified in a certain way where we can put it back to a more stock configuration, something a little more livable, daily driver-ish, right?
Sure.
So we're looking at Civics, and there's a bunch of Civics around here, and I was
There's a bunch of Civics everywhere.
Yeah, it is a very. We'll get to that. But the Civics around here, honestly, the Civics in Florida
They are their own genre.
They're way less expensive than they are in anywhere else. Like if you go up north, that same Civic that we're looking at one for like $350. That one would probably be $2,500. That no joke. That would be $2,500. It's non-running. It has all these issues, but
you're just giving me
it's quote unquote clean.
You're giving me more and more reasons never to move up north. I never will.
Well, that's why I came down here. I mean,
God, man, it sucks up there.
Yeah,
it's pretty, and that's about it.
I don't think. some places are pretty. If I went to New Jersey, it's just like it's drab and the weather's garbage, and I just went outside to greet you, and I'm like, birds are chirping, and it's 70 degrees. It's nice,
like like a beautiful blue sky, and like everything is bright green because we've had rain recently.
Yeah.
Like, Florida's the jam.
The squirrels are playing around.
People always give Florida a bad rap. Florida man. Blah, blah, blah.
No, I love that. So the Smoking Tire. I was listening to the podcast while I was working on my car today, and Matt Farah likes to rag on Florida a lot, and he talks about, I hate Florida. Doug DeMuro also said, he hates Florida and whatever. Like, good.
That's fine.
Good.
Yeah, we don't need you.
Yeah. No, it's good because people don't realize how good it can be. Obviously, there are some places that are pretty bad.
I mean, that's every state.
Sure, that's every state. But if you go from New Jersey to Florida on a one-day trip, like I've done a few times, what you start noticing is people. First of all, the population density it starts getting thinner and thinner,
which is good.
Yeah, which is good. Not too many cars on the roads, and people also get nicer. You start seeing toll booth operators saying please and thank you. So that's
we got that southern hospitality down here, man.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird. I was
but Florida's awesome because there's no emissions.
Right.
No inspections.
Some people would say that's worse. You need to give the government more of your power, and you need to make sure that you're complying with all of said regulations.
Sure, then move to Connecticut. No state tax.
Mm-hmm. But how do we fund the roads, which don't have many potholes on them, and
toll roads?
Okay, yeah. Seems like that's it.
Yep.
Seems like that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that's why we have local taxes, sales taxes, stuff like that. Yeah, property taxes, and those are a lot cheaper. But I don't want to be a poster child for Florida here. I mean, there's plenty of bad things. I mean, the roads aren't great as far as driving. There are some small pockets of good driving in Florida, but it's all like here in Central Florida. You go down south, there's nothing. There's like other than racetracks, there's nothing. Unless you have super high horsepower cars that only go in a straight line. And then Florida makes a lot of sense.
Sure, but why go in a straight line?
I don't know, but it's not like I'm building a 1,000 horsepower car anyway. So in any case, I'm going back to the Civic. I've been doing some research, and the Civic that we're looking at, we haven't bought it yet, nothing like that, but the one we're looking at needs some body work.
It needs an exorcism.
Might need a priest, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I am an ordained minister by the Universalist Church. I will tell you that.
I've been meaning to do that.
Yeah, you can do it online.
Yeah.
I've done it online. I did it like 10 years ago. And they give you like a little certificate and everything. You put in your name. I'm pretty sure it's just to get your name and email address. I think that's it. I think it's a telemarketing scheme.
Well, and $50. I think it's $50.
No, it's free.
Is it really?
I did not have any money to do it. No, this is absolutely free. Yes. They go like, you're a minister now. Now you're ordained.
Ayo, bada bingo.
Yeah. There we go. So that's basically the whole thing. I was looking at this Civic, and and what we'll need for it. So we'll need like bumpers and maybe definitely fenders actually, because it has these
molded side skirts.
Does it have molded? I don't think so. It might.
Well, yeah. Well, they're definitely like at least bondoed.
Yeah. So
or,
I mean,
or fiberglass or something.
Right. But like fenders and all that stuff. So I'm just looking on eBay, and man, are these prices good.
Yes.
They are very, very tasty. If I had Civic prices based on supply and demand are, I want to say 1%, probably 1 or 2% of what Lamborghini parts are. Like, and I'm being very generous here.
Yes.
A brand new bumper, plastic bumper, primered with shipping is $85. Yeah, somebody's making a profit on that. That's with a profit built in.
Yeah.
After all the expense, this thing must cost $10 to make. It's I have no idea, and it's a plastic bumper. It's not like some fiberglass thing is going to fall apart. It's plastic, so it'll probably fit well. Steel fenders, left and right, $120 shipped
For both.
Yeah, shipping for big fenders. That usually is
40 or 30 or 40 bucks.
Yeah, so you're looking at a fender that costs $30, something like that, and that's with the profit already built in.
Incredible.
Yeah, so I think we can definitely do a budget build on this. And I was looking at engine swaps. You know what's weird? The engine swaps on the Civics for like K series and especially like Type R's and all that stuff. Those are oddly expensive. Like people spend like $5-6 grand on them for why?
Yeah.
Can you explain that to me?
I think it's just that they're paying that JDM tax.
But sometimes it's like the Acura RSX Type S, the one we got in the US, because that had the the K20 Z1 or the Z3. I believe the K20 Z1 was the Acura RSX Type S, but then the Z3 was the Civic Si, the newer one. I think this is 7th or 8th gen. So that's not JDM, but for some reason, getting a 200 horsepower engine where a 130 horsepower engine was, apparently that cost $6,000. But on a Supra, you can put a 600 horsepower engine where there was a 200 horsepower engine, and that's like about the same price. So yeah, I
think it's probably a power to weight thing.
But it's not. I mean, those cars are light, but they're not that light.
Yeah.
They're not. They're still like 22, 3, something like that. If you take out a lot of the accoutrement.
The part that I'm really looking forward to is the initial stripping of whatever car we get, taking off the crappy bumpers, the crappy headlights, gutting the interior. Like that's the stuff I'm looking forward to.
So yeah,
and pressure washing it.
and then pressure washing it, and then having all the human slime come out of it. That's always cathartic. But I think putting it back together and having, I still don't know what we're gonna do as far as
function. Like what are the purposes
like
of the car?
What can we do for a first episode? It could be we get it to a daily driver spec, and then we do something a little more interesting in the next ones. I mean, we have a lot of ideas. There's going to be
the cars are automatic, by the way, the ones we've been looking at. So we will probably in the future look at doing a swap manual.
Yeah. So it's going to be automatic by design because there are some manuals available for not much more. It's like a few $100 more for like a comparable manual. But I feel like we can do a manual swap. We could do a how-to on a manual swap. It's really not that hard. I've done them on plenty of cars. So I'm about to do it on SL55. That's probably going to be a little harder. Speaking of SL55, I got another pedal assembly because somebody told me of a pedal assembly for a CLK in Europe. And I saw in, I think on the German eBay or the UK eBay. I can't remember which one. So I saw a pedal assembly for 30, it would be British pounds. And I had them send it from the UK over here. It might have not been in the UK. It might have been somewhere in Eastern Europe, but they advertised it in UK. In any case, this pedal box apparently looks like it would bolt on, like with very, very little modification. Because the one I had, I have to do like some kind of major surgery,
Right.
and graft on some parts and do some ABS work. But this looks like I might just have to trim some stuff, and then that's it.
Well, here's to hoping.
Yeah. So I honestly I haven't I've been so busy I haven't even opened up the box. Like I don't even know what's in there. But that should be fun. But the Civic thing is it actually got me thinking of how what cars can you find for less than $1,000 that would actually be like good. I'm not saying like good in the same way your Focus ST is good, but good in the same way that somebody can use a car every day, not have it break down, not really worry about it too much, like have it be a good beater. Don't worry about the cosmetics. What car under 1,000 or right around 1,000 do you think would fit that bill? Because looking at all these cars, there's a lot of kind of patterns that emerge.
Yeah, I would start with Honda Civics, Toyota Corollas, that sort of stuff. The go-tos.
Well, the Honda Civics, I mean, even those, there are some you want to kind of stay away from. I would try to stay away from the newer ones. They have like the I want to say 02 or 03 and up. They have these weird 1.7 liter engines. And for some reason, all the ones on Craigslist have like bad engines. So I'm not sure if they had like head gasket issues or whatever, but they were like more for economy car spec. Obviously, these are all economy cars. But this didn't really. I'm not sure how well it takes to boost. I'm not sure how well it takes to modification and stuff. But those are actually that would be on the back end of my list. Even though you can get one for $1,000, you probably won't get a good one. Something a little older, maybe mid 90s, like you said, Corolla. But Corollas, honestly, finding one with sub $1,000, that's also going to be a little hard because they tend to hold their value kind of extraordinarily well.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of them get exported because people. If you look in the Caribbean, everybody has a Corolla from the mid 90s. It's just like that's the car.
Yep.
So I would say Hondas. I mean, what about domestic stuff? Like you could probably get like an F-150 or something like that. As far as dollar per pound, that would probably.
I don't think I've ever seen an F-150 for $1,000. Running F-150 for $1,000, especially down here. Down here.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I forgot where I was.
Yeah,
okay.
You got that southern tax down here.
Yeah. No, pickups command a premium.
I've seen some mini trucks, like some Nissan hard bodies, a couple of Mitsubishi Mighty Maxes here and there that go for right around $1,000. They usually have some either serious issues or are basically just a very thin, rusty shell on a frame with a motor.
Right. Yeah.
Which
it's weird in Florida. There's like it's either it's a complete rust bucket or it's pristine.
Yeah.
There's not really like it has a little rust. Like here, I remember the guy I was talking to with the Civic. He was like, "Yeah, it's a little rusty," and I was like, "Where's the rust?" He was like, "It rained inside the car because he had the window down, and then he said it rusted around the seat rails." And I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "It's literally like just some rusty bolts." In New Jersey, that would be considered mint. Like that is literally Craigslist. Like it's mint, and that they would never tell you that.
That's more reasons to hate the North.
Right. So no cars here have any like really, really bad rust, unless you're like, you're living further down south or near the beach or something where you get like sandblasted and you get that salt water.
Yeah.
But even then, I mean, unless your car's on the water, you're parking it on a dock every day, then you should be all right.
No, you can still get rust from living near the coast.
So, well, I mean, I'm right in the middle, so like an hour and a half either way.
Yeah.
Is ocean, so I'm pretty well situated, so I don't really it doesn't bother me, as long as my cars don't get rusty.
Even when I lived in St. Augustine, literally less than 5 miles from the Atlantic Ocean, I went to the beach maybe 4 times over the span of 8 years.
Of course, yeah. I mean that's because you were so busy holding court with all the tourists.
No, it's because I'm pale.
Oh, okay, yeah. We were talking about that before the podcast. My skin is bubbling. I'm not sure it's supposed to do that. It looks like I'm
it's
having
just-
lots of little
You're just peeling.
Sure, but it kind of looks like I'm about to hatch lots of eggs. You know, like an alien style.
It could
you know.
be. It could
Is
just
this
be.
is this Prometheus? Is
It
this a
could
plot
just
of Prometheus
be.
here?
Could just be chiggers.
Chigger. Okay, so that may sound like a racial slur, but I swear to God, it's not.
Chiggers are bugs down here in the south. They like to live in the moss.
Yeah,
and then what they do is they bite you and lay eggs in your skin.
Yeah, so chiggers are these little red mites, and they're in Spanish moss. And what's funny is the Spanish moss, it grows around, it's all around here.
Everywhere.
And it looks great, except for the fact that if you hold a lot of it and like you're
going to get bit.
Yeah, you could get bit, yeah.
You're going to get itchy.
Yeah, but a good way to kill those things, just put the Spanish moss in the microwave for like 5 seconds.
Or just boil it.
Well, I mean, it's not going to get wet that way. So you can just put it in the microwave 5 seconds, you kill all.
Do you know what Spanish moss is really closely related to?
Henry Ford.
No.
What?
Pineapples.
Okay. Oh. The more you know.
Do you know why it's called Spanish moss?
Because the Spanish brought it over on the Mayflower when they... What? No.
What?
Just don't... I don't know, man. I don't know. Why? Why is it called...
It looked like the beards of the Spanish
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
conquistadors.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So fun fact, making this all about cars, Spanish moss was used by Henry Ford in his first Model Ts, either Model Ts or Model A's.
For seat stuffing.
Yeah, and he put them in his seats, but he didn't realize that they had these bugs in them, and then he stopped using those because people were getting itchy butts.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's
Itchy cheeks.
Yeah, itchy cheeks. You don't want to. Get
That sounds like a state park.
Yeah,
because we have like Itchituckney and like Palat-Kalaha, itchy cheeks, itchy cheeky.
Itchy cheeky.
I was just going down the Itchy Cheeky River down here.
That sounds exactly. Oh my God. Yes. In any case, Honda Civics super great values, and but what else can you get? I'm thinking, and bear with me here. I know you're probably going to have some words about this. PT Cruiser.
Electrical failure.
Of what?
Just
of the entire system.
Just literally, it's not just one failure. Like just entirely, the car is an electrical failure.
It's just as
I can't tell you how many
the
things.
entire car is a failure, sir.
I can't
every possible measure.
I can't tell you how many things on my PT Cruiser crapped out on me.
Really?
Just because it's just poorly made. It's just a doo-doo car.
Okay, so I mean, 100%. There was a lot of PT Cruisers when I was strolling through the local Craigslist.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but they never said anything about electrical failure. Some people, the thing is, I think those really cheap PT Cruisers are around because people just drive them into the ground and they don't maintain them. They don't do anything to them. They have bald tires and squeaking.
The one that I had, I maintained it to a T. Kept it clean, just like every other car that I've ever owned. Didn't really dog on it too much.
How can you dog on a PT Cruiser? Like, what
Right?
would you do? Neutral drops?
Sure.
I mean, no, seriously. Like, you have an economy car that's automatic. How do you beat on it?
You just stomp on it everywhere you go.
Sure, but that's like. Here's the thing with automatics. There's a certain amount of insanity that, like, you can't keep it in a gear for hours on end. It will shift for you. It will make sure you don't go too far in the rev range, and I don't really know how you would, like, with a manual car. You could pop the clutch, you can make it do all these weird things, over rev it, put it into second instead of fourth. But with the automatic, it's like, all right, you're pushing it hard, but it was kind of designed to do that.
So then please explain to me why the automatic transmission in my PT Cruiser destroyed itself.
Well, it's because Dodge is just the best company, and it makes automatic transmissions out of cheese. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
And then 2 days later,
Yeah.
throw a rod.
So And
just flush $3,000 down the toilet for transmission rebuild, and then flush the whole car down the toilet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the engine wouldn't getting a used engine probably wouldn't be that bad on a PT Cruiser.
Yeah, I didn't really want to invest any more money into that car.
I mean, that car is a modern classic.
No.
I'm half joking. I actually think that car could be a modern. I think that car could have a reckoning, a la the Volvo 240. The Volvo 240, there are plenty of them made, and they were like kind of pieces of junk in the 90s. They weren't worth anything, and now hipsters are like,
buying
hey, these cars are kind of boxy.
Those in
cool.
Saabs, old Saab like 900s and stuff.
Yeah, right. But I mean, Saab at least had the Top Gear guys do a movie about them, how Saab was cool and all this stuff. A lot of people saw it. But with Volvos, it's all a word of mouth thing. It's like, the cool pizza place on, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I don't know anything about cool pizza places.
The new Volvos, those are impressive cars.
Sure, yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. I mean, the new Volvos are great. I wish we could show you pictures, but our OBS is
do a Google.
Is garbage. Google new Volvos.
Yep.
Google
specifically,
Volvo.
The one that I kind of hate myself for liking this, but the new XC40, the little tiny crossover thing,
right? Just
looks so cool.
So I was at Geneva when they did a launch of one of these cars. I can't remember what it was. For the life of me, like I'm horrible with names, but I should be better with cars. I remember people for their like what cars they drive, but if it's like a new car and it's very similar to if they released like XC70, XC90, and XC40 or whatever, I couldn't be bothered to know what the difference is between them. But I talked to the CEO of Volvo, and he was a very, very candid guy, and I ended up talking to him, and it got a little bit political. And at the end, I basically videotaped everything, and at the end, his handler said, "All right, we're gonna need you not to like show that." Because apparently, like he said some stuff that was a little uncouth. It wasn't like it was like horrible or anything. It wasn't,
Just slightly controversial.
Yeah, he wasn't, like pledging allegiance to Satan or something. But
why wouldn't you?
Yeah, different strokes for different folks. So, but the handler was like clearly concerned. Sent me an email afterwards saying like, "Hey, it was nice meeting you.
Don't use the footage.
What are you thinking of doing with that? Because this might not be good."
You're like, "Well, I'm going to miss out on a whole bunch of money. You should pay me in potential lost revenue."
Yeah. Oh no, I mean it was. I went there for Jalopnik, and we ended up not running the story anyway because it was like by the time we figured it out, like I actually had the legal team look at it and make sure that it was. We can run it without getting sued apparently because a lot of people love to do that. Yeah. So by that time it was already like it was past the show and nobody really cared. So whatever. What other cars other than PT Cruiser? Because PT Cruiser we have determined is not a good value for under $1,000.
It's not a good value for any amount of money.
I think if somebody gave you a PT Cruiser for free, it's still
sure, and I would turn around and sell it immediately. I wouldn't even pay to put gas in the thing.
Okay, so I think one of our projects should be a PT Cruiser.
No.
How to make it cool, how to make it comfortable, and how to make it reliable. No?
No, that's not a project.
That's a project.
That's an undertaking.
That's an ordeal.
Yeah. Like there you can't do anything to make it cool. Like it's just garbage.
What about, okay, so I want you guys in the audience to tell me and Andrew, well, especially Andrew, because he needs to be convinced. I am 50%
I don't need to, I owned a PT Cruiser. I don't need to be convinced.
It doesn't matter. Sometimes the person who has not owned the car has a more objective view because they're not tainted by the bias of ownership. You ever thought about that?
No.
Okay. So, you guys tell us, is the PT Cruiser a good car? I mean, I don't not even a good car, like one that could be a decent daily driver. Because I mean, it is practical. Regular Car Reviews did something on it, and they said it was actually a pretty good car. And it's a cheap car. You don't really have to worry about it.
Yeah, when I owned it, up until wasting all the money on it, I was obsessed with it. Totally obsessed with it. I was like, oh, this is great. I fit all my drums in the back. Look at all these neat features and blah blah blah. I like at that point in my life, it was my second car.
Right.
It was fully loaded, like leather, had the sound system, the 6 CD changer, which broke and ate 6 of my CDs. By the way,
what do you mean?
The 6 CD changer destroyed itself, and with it, my 6 CDs that were in it.
How did it break 6 CDs?
I have no idea. That's a great question. Ask Dodge.
No, how does that happen? Because a magazine is separate from the changer itself. You just couldn't get it open or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I even like tore it out of the dash and like tried tearing it apart, and by the time I got to it, the CDs were already cracked.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that so it was an in-dash 6 CD changer.
Yes.
Wow. See, I'm used to the mid 90s trunk mounted. Like, if you want to change your music,
you got to go to the trunk.
You're going to have to do some planning here.
Yep.
Because you're going to have to put all your CDs in the trunk.
I have a relative that used to have an old Lexus ES 300, which I love, by the way. Those are awesome cars.
Yeah, they're luxury Camrys. Yeah,
they're so awesome. Good. And they look awesome, like very timeless design. Anyways,
Yes.
I remember as a kid, like seeing that for the first time. I'm like, CDs are back here? That's so weird. I don't get it.
my Lexus SCs had CD changes back there. The SC 400 that I had was I remember I had a Eagles CD. So I was listening to Hotel California on that awesome Nakamichi sound system, which was actually very good. It's one of the best stock systems I've heard even to this day. But it also had Creed, Scott Stapp. But the Creed CD was extremely scratched.
Oh, what a shame.
So no, you can still listen to them, but like at track like 7, it starts getting real wonky. Like Scott Stapp develops a stutter that he can't that he can't overcome.
Scott's Stapp. Yeah. With our arms wide open.
Yeah, exactly.
Under the sun loud.
Remix, yeah. And it was weird because first of all, it was a burned Creed CD.
Oh, God.
So somebody had to take, especially like they had to make effort to make a Creed CD and then not care that the CD was scratched enough that maybe they only cared about the first 6 tracks. I don't know.
The only kind of burning I would do with a Creed CD is with fire.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? Scott Stapp is a great musician. And what is his guitarist name? What was that dude's name? He went on to do something.
Oh, Mark Tremonti.
Okay, yes, sure. He went on to do things, right? He's like
Alter Bridge, which is basically just Creed without Scott Stapp.
Alter Bridge sounds like a Christian rock band.
But they both were, Creed and Alter Bridge, both.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Scott Stapp went and made a tape with Kid Rock.
Okay.
And that's why you haven't seen Scott Stapp for a while.
He was at a county fair in Florida.
Yep, because that's what he's reduced to now is performing at county fairs.
I mean, can you think of a more fitting gig for
Usually people that make tapes get famous, like the Kardashians and Paris Hilton.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Tapes. But
Coitus. Coitus tapes. He and Kid Rock in a hotel room with a couple of young ladies. Yeah, not only did you make that, but you made it with Kid Rock.
That has destroyed my perception of Scott Stapp. Yeah. I thought that he was a.
He's not. He's not. Okay. Whatever you thought, he is not.
In any case,
I call him Stapp infection.
Stapp infection. Okay, so what other car other than Creed CDs and old Lexuses? What cars would you say are just quick, just real quick? Because what about like a Toyota Tercel?
Oh, absolutely, a Tercel or like a Paseo.
Ooh, Paseo.
We've discussed Paseos before in the show, and
Paseos are cool, man.
So cool. They're so strange.
Yeah, they made. I'm not sure if they made a turbo version in JDM land, but they might have. I know that there's a bunch of Paseo turbos around. They're not like stock turbos.
Right. I think actually I could be wrong here, but I think there was a Paseo type car, or I think it was maybe a Corolla that was supercharged.
Okay.
It had the 4AG ZE motor in it.
Oh yeah, no, Corolla, yeah. That would be wasn't that the FX16?
No. Those just had 16 valve.
I know that there might have been a supercharged one.
No. You're thinking of the one that my coworker has that has the 4AGZE out of the supercharged Corolla.
Yes. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. All right. So other than a Honda Civic and a Toyota Tercel and a Toyota Camry, well, you can't buy a Camry for $1,000. Maybe.
Could you get a Previa for $1,000?
Not a good one.
It's Previa though.
Sure, but like you have an engine that's basically on its side. Yeah. That's not something I want to screw around with for somebody, especially with somebody an owner that didn't have any idea of how to service it or do any of that stuff.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything.
Okay, so you guys can tell us in the comments on our videos and also on email. We have an email. It's iwrencheveryday@gmail.com. And you tell us what are some good sub $1,000, not exactly like fun track cars, but just something
just
like
cars.
Yeah, just cars. Daily drivers, just a good, honest beater. So let us know in the comments and ask us questions because we will be taking some of y'all's questions in the next episodes.
Oh, you are a Floridian now. Look at you.
That's right. All y'all's.
All y'all.
That's
all y'all, not all y'all's.
I put an S because you can't be. You have to do something to differentiate yourself a little bit. All y'all's.
You stanky Yankee.
All of y'all's.
All y'all.
That's right. Okay, so you can reach us at Wrench Every Day for Instagram and Twitter. You can reach me at The Real Tavarish. That's Instagram and Twitter. And Andrew.
I can be found on Instagram at Heavy Metal FL or on Twitter at 1565. That's the word 15 and the number 65.
We're going to need you to tone that down just a little bit for the next one.
That's the word 15 and the number 65.
Not the pitch and not the speed. Just tone down the energy. We're all having fun here, man. Okay, so until next time, this is it's me, Tavarish, for Andrew Howell, reminding you guys, as always, to wrench every day.